Hi everyone, my name is Vuvu and this is Vuvu Vena Reads. And today I just want to talk about audiobooks because I've had this discomfort for a very long time, and I'm just trying to suss out who else thinks the way that I think, and perhaps we can help each other out. So I've downloaded Audible. I haven't registered, don't get me wrong. I've downloaded an audiobook app called Audible, and there was another audiobook app that I had downloaded but clearly deleted. I think it's called, I want to say it's called Hi Books or whatever. And I've got an Apple, so there are audiobooks that are available on the Apple apps. But here's my problem. Can you really truly say you've read a book if you've actually listened to a book? So I know that there's nothing profound with what I'm saying, truly. But my problem here is that this is the battle that I'm having in my head and in my heart. Because the exercise of reading, as far as I understand, is that you get to create the voices of the characters in the way in which you see the world inside of your head. So when there is a narrator there for you, you cannot help but imagine the characters the way that they've imagined it. It's like the upset that readers have when they are watching a movie adaptation of a book of sort, and they get in there into that sitting or into that watching of that movie, and they realize that, wait a minute, this don't look like no. For example, okay, let me give you a proper example actually of the movie. So when the Da Vinci Code was a big deal, I read the book and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was the first book of Dan Brown's that I ever read. And then a few months later, I watched, which I didn't actually, I saw the movie, the opening of the movie. And my idea of Silas in my head, albino, and as radical as he was, even in his physique, was nothing like the man they showed in those few opening scenes in the movie. And I lie to you not when I say to you, it took me months for me to actually watch that movie. Which at the end of it all, in terms of how it carried the actual story, was not too far off. But I had huge problems. Even Robert Langdon, man, was not what I had thought he would be in terms of how the film interpreted the book. So coming back to what this topic is about, so I'm afraid of the similar thing happening with audiobooks. And don't get me wrong, I have listened to some audiobooks that I do not intend to read, and most of those audiobooks are self-help books, personal development books. I don't think I've listened to a Christian audiobook, but what I mean to say there is that there has been no crafting of characters, worlds, etc. that could interfere with my imagination. So those kind of books I can definitely listen to audio versions of. But novels, I'm really battling, guys. And the thing is, the only reason why I'm even up on this platform is that I don't want to be convinced. I really do want to be convinced because I've got such a backlog of books that I want to go through. And I say this the way that I've said it because I still cannot imagine. I can imagine myself listening to audiobooks, but I cannot imagine myself not reading along to the narrative, if you get what I'm trying to say. So I can't imagine myself, in as much as I listen to podcasts in my car, blasting an audiobook without actually following it or following along with the book in hand. So I still don't see myself listening to audiobooks, novels, fictional books that I actually don't own hard copies of. Is this a problem that's familiar to anyone? Is it just me? Am I being too hard on myself? Because sometimes I sit here and I watch booktube, especially overseas booktubers, and I see people finish 10 books in a month, and I see that 6 of these books are audiobooks, and I'm like, firstly, at the first I was like, yes girl, yes, you got it in, you read those books were never ready. And then I sat there and I was like, why don't you get Audible or something, because you do have access to it, you know? And then I was like, but Vuvu, honestly, have you read the book? Have you actually gone through the experience of reading the book if you listened to it? Can somebody help me out here? To Audible or not to Audible? That is the question. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, I love you very, very much.